Here's a video. And I didn't make this. Why did I say that? Of course I didn't make this. Why did I say that? What was I trying to say? I didn't find this, is what I was trying to say. Someone sent this to me. Back to the Future 9/11 conspiracy connection, and this was posted October 21st, 2015, which, of course, for Back to the Future fans will know is the date in which Marty goes to the future in Back to the Future 2. So this is, I guess, a video that's going to try and connect Back to the Future to 9/11. Profane Priestess says, I used to work in a physical therapist's office. The amount of shit we used to get with dumb chiropractic nonsense was unreal. Yeah. I don't know what bingo spaces we've gotten so far. I don't have a master list of these currently, so you'll just have to ask and I'll let you know. Like, if you have a specific one, you'd have to ask me. The DAC says, my cousin has terrible childhood scoliosis, and without a chiropractor, she wouldn't be able to stand today without the treatment she got when young. Yeah. There are legit purposes for chiropractic. It's just unfortunate that the entire profession has been overrun by lunatics who claim that they're going to, like, fix your diabetes with chiropractic or whatever. Kirthan becomes a stream boss. Thank you. Osama Biff Laden. Alright, that's pretty good. Okay, here we go. Here's what it says. The following is a work of mysticism and sophistry. At least they are outright about that. The insinuations in this piece are not scientific and are not proposed as evidence of an intentional conspiracy by the Back to the Future filmmakers. The piece is not attempted to implicate any specific individuals for having foreknowledge, scared me, of the September 11th attack. The film is a perfidious representation of the totality of Back to the Future. Its facts and component parts have been removed from the depth of their intended context. The result of recontextualizing is a perversion via production intended to distort character perspectives. Okay, so basically, I don't know if they're taking this seriously or not, but at the very least, it'll be an interesting look into the fact that you can use conspiratorial thinking to connect anything to anything, so that's fun. Princess Amelia says, oh good, my favorite childhood movie and a horrific terrorist attack together at last.
Dear Dr. Brown, on the night that I go back in time, you will be shot by terrorists. Please take whatever precautions are necessary to prevent this terrible disaster.
In the 1985 classic Back to the Future, at a scene called the Twin Pines Mall, we will bear witness to a sudden surprise terrorist attack, perpetrated by a group of Muslim terrorists.
DOs and MDs are equivalent in the United States.
Okay. Yeah, I googled it as we were doing it and talked about it. They seem to believe some really fucking crazy shit, though. On the osteopath page, it talked all about their pseudoscience shit.
Yeah, that's mostly in other countries. But in the United States, DOs and MDs are equivalent. They have the exact same schooling, and the only difference here is that they have 300 hours of training in osteopathic, it's OMM. It's basically like muscular therapy.
Okay. Apparently they peddle a lot in anti-vax stuff in the United States.
There are some quacks, just like there are some quacks that are MDs.
Okay.
But I'm not going to sit here, like 90% of my friends that are doing PhDs with a doctor, like a medical doctor degree attached onto it, are DO PhDs.
Okay.
So.
Well, thanks for the clarification.
The attack
that counts as Baja Blast on the bingo card, by the way. Simple Cat Girl says, chat stuffer like I did from this video? What?
Suffer.
Chat
suffer like I did from this video.
Gotcha.
attack is at the Twin, which is a reference to the Twin Towers. When we turn the sign upside down, the digits on the clock read 911 or 911. The Twin Pines are a symbolic representation of the Twin Towers. Before the terrorist attack, the twins are present, but after the attack, the twins are
Chiropractors are fucking bullshit.
EO180 says, don't you hate when extremist terrorists show up in rural America in the 1980s? In fairness, there was a reason. It was because they went to Doc Brown specifically to build them a bomb, so they gave him plutonium in order to build them probably either a dirty bomb. I don't think Doc Brown has the I shouldn't say Doc Brown doesn't have the expertise to build a nuclear bomb. He built a time machine. Are those equivalent in their technological difficulty? I don't know. In the Back to the Future universe, who's to say? Anyway, they wanted him to build a bomb, so they were there for him specifically, not just for no reason. Ashy Boo says, someone can pursue a DO doctorate because DO education focuses more on holistic treatment and patient-centered treatment in the U.S. Okay.
It's like the difference between an MD and a DO degree is simply the idea of how you practice medicine. Are you looking at the whole person and trying to figure out, okay, are these symptoms caused by something that's, maybe you are having deferred pain where you feel like you're having pain in your leg, but it's actually from a problem in your back because of sciatica.
Okay.
Versus looking at, okay, this person has leg pain, I'm going to treat the leg pain.
Okay.
It's like, it's a different philosophy
Okay.
of medicine, but they are equivalent. And the problem is that, like, it's been kind of bastardized by, like, osteopaths in other countries don't have to have degrees, they don't have to have medical training, they don't have to go to medical school, like, so people just kind of assume that if you are an osteopath anywhere, then you're not actually a doctor, when DOs are the equivalent of MDs, they just have additional training. It's like specializing.
Okay. I'm not disagreeing. They were just talking about how they had Andrew Wakefield at a conference, and he's like the original anti-vaxxer. Like,
okay, I'm not saying that there aren't some crazy people, Hannah, but there are also MDs that do some crazy shit, like...
Okay. Then those people should have their medical degrees stripped.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because they're giving the rest of their field a bad name.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Tucker White says, how does one do a PhD? I mean, I guess you can jerk off onto one, but I think it's easier to find porn on the internet. Yes, I'm sauced right now. Why do you ask? Jesus Christ.
gone, replaced with a single pine. This takes place on 9/11, where the twins are destroyed and replaced with a single tower, the One World Trade Building. Also at this scene, Doc shows us two stopwatches, both of which display...
Do acupuncture.
I don't think that's what they were saying. I think they were just asking if it is in the United States as a comparison.
I don't know what that means, though.
Like, is acupuncture considered actual medicine in the United States? And I don't think it requires that kind of lessons. I don't know.
Encoded 9/11s. Is this only...
Tucker White says, don't sigh, Hannah. You should know your audience by now. I do. I'm disappointed every day.
A coincidence? The pines are the towers, and this symbol system is confirmed in Back to the Future Part 2, where we see the twin pines appear again on a projector.
This is a really good illustration of how you can make a conspiracy theory about anything. This is pretty good.
Action movie screen in Marty's future house. Marty's family gathers around the movie screen, and the twin pines actually morph into the twin towers. This is because the twin pines are the twin towers. The pines are the towers. Pines, towers. And the Twin Pines Mall is the Twin Towers Mall, which is why all the clocks here secretly say 9/11 and why there will be a Muslim terrorist attack resulting in the destruction of the Twin Pines, or the Twin Towers. But the appearance of the towers is not a random backdrop, as we can see the Statue of Liberty lurking just as secretly as the towers, making this scene a secret recreation of New York City, where Marty's family has gathered to stare at Ground Zero.
EO180 says, this feels like how America gives accountants a bad name for being a boring job because most accountants in America are unqualified number enterers for tax and whatnot. Whereas here in Ireland and other countries, to call yourself an accountant, you have to do years of qualifications.
Of these three characters staring at Ground Zero, one of them is completely upside down. But in the entire Back to the Future saga, this is the only time when an upside-down character will ever appear.
The real reason for this is actually interesting. Crispin Glover wanted way more money for the second movie, but they didn't want to give Crispin Glover that money. So they just hired a different actor who kind of resembled Crispin Glover and put him in old man makeup and made him upside down because he threw his back out golfing. So you wouldn't notice it's not Crispin Glover because it's harder to notice when he's upside down. So that's fun.
The hint being given here is to observe the scene from his perspective by turning it upside down. But when doing so, the Twin Towers are clearly shown to be falling down. In the entire history of cinema, this scene of Back to the Future is the most literal depiction ever made showing the Twin Towers falling down. So how is it possible that this scene would occur in a story that already contains a terrorist attack by Muslims at the Twins on 9/11, where the Twins are the Twin Towers, which then execute Hollywood's best depiction of the Twin Towers' collapse? But Back to the Future doesn't just portray this attack, it develops into an elaborate warning about it.
I could just go back early and warn him. I have to tell you about the future!
EO180 says, what about movies about the Twin Towers falling down? Those don't exist. What are you talking about?
About the future. You will be shot.
Sorry, I'm looking at a different panel and it's
But
blocking.
Marty is carrying more essential information about the future. He knows the exact time and date that a tower will be struck.
Save the clock tower! Save the clock tower!
Struck by
Now, the
lightning,
images
hit
that
by
put-
a plane, those are the same thing, right? Shoot, I lost my place. Dang it. Where are we?
How could it be that now, in the real October,
Back early and warn him.
he knows the exact time and date that a tower will be struck?
Save the clock tower! Save the clock tower! Don't forget to take a flyer. Save the
Oh no,
In a
Cookie
story
Monster
we
did
already suspect of
9/11.
being a 9/11 warning, how is it possible that this phrase appears on a flyer telling the
Yikes.
future? Then, when the tower strike takes place, a giant flaming 9/11 is ignited in the street.
Oh! That's a good one, look! 9/11.
Oh my god.
To my knowledge, based on the thing at the beginning, this isn't someone who actually believes this, I don't think. I don't know, I'll have to look at the channel. The disclaimer at the beginning basically said, this is a work of sophistry. Like, this is, I don't actually think, I think they're just trying to show you can read
Yeah,
anything into
from
anything.
anything, yeah.
The 9 is over here. It says Western Auto. Some people in chat can't see it. Oh wait, is it not on screen? No, it is. You can see it just on the edge.
Marty knows exactly when and where this tower strike will happen because it's all written on this flyer and placed in his hands. But something lurks in the background overseeing.
Oh my god! There's a fucking... Ah! Oh my god. No wonder people at Call for an Uprising go crazy. They're looking for this shit everywhere.
This transaction. But why does this
lab and see how many triangles there are.
symbol hover while Marty is forewarned about the tower strike? Back to the Future was written and directed by Robert Zemeckis, first released in 1985, but to depict the future, Zemeckis chose October 2015.
Alright, Doc, what's going on, huh? Where are
October 21st,
When are we?
2015.
October 21st, 2015.
2015?
The Twin Towers scene takes place in October 2015, and the towers appear on a movie screen, meaning the McFly family is watching a secretly placed Twin Towers movie released on October 2015, directed by Robert Zemeckis.
What?
So how could it be that now, in the real October 2015, a major Hollywood production is about to hit theaters worldwide, and it is exclusively about the Twin Towers? It happens to be directed by Robert Zemeckis. The title of this new Twin Towers film is The Walk, and this new Twin Towers film has...
The movie isn't really about the Twin Towers. It's about a real-life event where a guy tightrope walked across the Twin Towers. It's about the guy.
the exact same release date as the secret Twin Towers
I don't know why I'm trying to debunk this like they're serious. I know they're not. I'm just so used to...
film Planted in Back to the Future, which exposes the symbolism of the pines and depicts the Twin Towers collapse. So why would Zemeckis now draw our attention to it with a major Hollywood production? Back to the Future was released in 1985, The Walk in 2015, exposing this warning after 30 years. Marty writes this warning into a letter. He seals it shut, intending for it to remain hidden for a specific amount of time.
What's the meaning of this?
Find out in 30 years!
What's the meaning of this?
Find out in 30 years!
The Walk is the
Or, it's because in 30 years he gets shot by Libyans.
reveal of the 9/11 warning given to
Spoilers for Back to the Future Part 1.
Doc while he is rigging a giant wire to the Twin Tower representing Clock Tower.
Evening, Dr. Brown. What's with the wire?
The Walk is about a plot to rig.
That's actually a technique that I see in conspiracy videos a lot that I don't know if I've commented on. Initially, they will make a crazy claim. In this case, the clock tower represents the Twin Towers. And then they will reinforce that idea by saying it in passing as if it is a fact. Initially, they'll say it like, what if this is a thing? And then they'll just continue to use that as supporting evidence in their future arguments, which, especially for, I think, people who are a little more susceptible to being influenced by things people say to them in a well-polished way, cements to them that must be true. They're still saying it so confidently, and they're using it to bolster their other arguments. You know what I mean? They're building an argument from the bottom up, even though there's no real support. They put together this fake support structure that they can build the rest of their bullshit arguments on, and then people forget that the initial foundational argument was kind of sketch and sus in the beginning. It's interesting.
Rig a giant wire.
Science fiction is fact, sure. This is kind of facetious, but I'll count it.
To the Twin Towers. So Marty records the warning while Doc is rigging the wire to the tower. Marty tells Doc he will understand the warning in 30 years.
Find out in 30 years!
30 years later, the director makes a movie about rigging a wire to a tower, the Twin Towers, because the warning within Marty's letter is about...
Hold on, had that even happened at this point? The Walk movie. Just checking. Yeah, the real event happened in 1974. Just checking.
a terrorist attack.
I missed bits. I apologize. Dr. White says, why are so many conspiracies just nothing but the most spurious paper-thin connections ever? Seriously, this whole Back to the Future predicted 9/11 garbage makes as much sense as me saying, Han is wearing horns, she's sitting in front of the green light, so she's Green Lantern who killed aliens from the planet 14 Hercules B. Yeah, that's the point. This video, I think, is supposed to be. Although, hold on, let me look at this person's other stuff. Because the disclaimer made it seem like it's making fun of conspiracy theories, but also the channel is called Celebrate Truth and it has a flat earth thing as the symbol. So if this person is serious, that's a shame. How about? Description, to promote God's truth and... Oh, no. Oh no, are they serious? Oh god. To promote God's truth and expose the world's lies. What if everything that NASA and science has taught you about the Earth, Sun, Moon, stars, and space was a lie? What if Satan wanted to destroy the foundation of God's world with perverting the truth of the enclosed flat Earth we live in from the vast start? It might sound crazy, but take the journey and study this topic because it might be the most shocking truth you've ever... Oh, no.
Are there disclaimers at the beginning of their videos just so that YouTube doesn't take them down?
I think they might. I think it's a way for... I think they really do believe this stuff, but they're just putting the disclaimers so they don't get removed and so they can't get sued. Oh, they really believe 9/11 was predicted by Back to the Future. Oh, no. Let me see if there's a disclaimer in front of this one.
Theory, incredible journey.
No. I don't know, then. They're definitely a flat earther, which isn't any crazier than believing that Back to the Future predicted 9/11. In fact, flat earth is crazier, and at least we know 9/11 and Back to the Future are both things that exist. Yikes.
At the Twin Towers.
What's with the wire? What's with the wire? What's with the wire?
This person is a Poe? Sure. Well, we'll just go with that. Who knows?
What's with the wire?
After rigging this wire, the tower strike takes place, and a Marty McFly from the future runs out onto the scene.
Well, that happens in Back to the Future too, doesn't it?
He has just time-traveled here from October 2015, the release date of...
What's a Poe? A Poe is basically someone who is so close to satire, but you can't tell if they're satire because there's people that are so like that in real life that you can't tell. You can't tell if they're trolling or if they're for real. That's what a Poe is.
The Walk. But in The Walk, standing on top of the Twin Towers, is Marty McFly.
Anyone wearing a red shirt and a leather jacket is Marty McFly. Facts.
This Marty has arrived here from the exact date where this Marty is standing. The plot of The Walk is the tower wire rigging event that just took place at this scene. One Marty is standing...
The Flat Earther, QAnon, JQ, Trifecta, what's JQ? Jewish question. It's basically anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
On top of the Twin Towers, while the other Marty stands inside a giant flaming 9/11 in the wake of a tower strike. While simultaneously across town, another Marty witnesses a terrorist attack take place at the Twins, which are actually the Twin Towers, a fact we learned from the secretly placed Twin Towers movie released on October 2015. This movie is actually The Walk, which is why it has Marty McFly standing on top of the Twin Towers.
But it wasn't a movie. It's like a video screen for views. I think they called it a view screen or something. Specifically, it was for, like, making your window look like it had nice views on the outside. It wasn't a movie.
What's the meaning of this?
What's with the wire? What's with the wire? What's with the wire? What's with the wire? What's with the wire?
Find out in 30 years! Find out in 30 years! Doc! 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 Okay, relax, Doc. It's me. It's me. It's Marty.
No, it can't be. Just sent you back to the future.
Oh, I know you did send me back to the future, but I'm back. I'm back from the future.
Ashy Boo. Sorry, I missed your bits. How far back are they? Jesus. Someone can pursue a DO degree because DO education focuses more on holistic treatment and patient-centered treatment in the U.S. I think that's from 18 minutes ago, though. Is that the one you mean? Because that's the only one I have. Yo180 says, imagine a director or creative person connecting two pieces of work or just having a similar style throughout their movies. Wouldn't that be crazy? He said the thing.
More human minds on planet Earth observed 9/11 than any single event in human history, making it a massive terrestrial meditation concentrating collective consciousness onto a single space-time focal point.
That's absolutely word salad. I think we already had it, but still.
Making 9/11 humanity's most potent consciousness-altering stargate. Zemeckis, a precogging
Stargate.
conduit, channels the 9/11 archetype with his Tower Strike Twin Pines terror attack cinematic superimposition, both scenes featuring the transdimensional portal, pointing to 9/11 as the archetype of transcendence. The consciousness portal is opened by touching the 2001 monolith, the movie screen, as touching the two-dimensional screen dispels its three-dimensional guise, revealing how the images it portrayed were not actually real.
One of those that use so many names that you forget your own.
To touch the monolith is to be freed from the fabricated narrative portrayed on the screen or by film, finally seeing the illusion employed to paint audience perspective into a box. The screen as the 2001 monolith is present on ground zero.
It's a fucking building!
In the form
Haven't we watched this before? I haven't.
of the Millennium Hilton Hotel, which was intentionally built to mimic the 2001 monolith, the movie screen. Humanity's mass tuning in to the 9/11 event was the collective touching of the monolith, where enslaved minds in mass began rejecting the narrative of their controllers. To tune in to 9/11 was to touch the screen and finally see the illusion, opening the portal of transcendence.
I hate the editing.
As Marty opens this portal during the 9/11 scene splice amalgamation, he makes contact with the illusion by touching film via the film booth at the exact moment the portal opens. Then by touching film via the movie theater at the exact moment the portal opens. Again, to open the portal, Marty must touch film via the movie screen at the exact moment the portal opens. Touching the
Why is the editing this bad? Because he's just like an amateur guy making YouTube videos.
screen, dispelling the illusion, opening the portal while enacting the 9/11 archetype. To touch the screen, finally becoming the creator of the fabricated images, relinquishes the monopolization of its power, removing the smoke from the screen and arming the awakened with skepticism. This film-instigated ascension is the same as the 9/11 ascension, a message that discredits the medium which carries it.
Wow. That's fucking bad.
It's information! Wait a minute! That's a ruse to accept!
Jesus Christ. Well, this person is going on my regular conspiracy list. Jesus Christ. What are they doing?